Hey guys, today I will be talking to you guys about a CDN network, um, kind of how it can be implemented into AWS. AWS has its own form of a CDN network. It is called CloudFront. So for this video, I'll be talking a little bit about it, showing it off, how it works, the back end behind it, and all that. First thing, a picture here on what a CDN network really is. So in a CDN network, you're the visitor. You are trying to access this website for this picture. The first thing that's going to happen is that request for that website is going to go to your DNS, your domain name system. That domain name is going to communicate to the CDN network, and it's going to deliver the CNAME or the alternate name, the nickname, whatever you want to call it, of this website that you asked for. And what's going to happen is then you're going to be taken to the CDN. Whatever you requested, so that image you requested, the origin server is going to deliver it to the CDN network, and then the CDN network is going to give you the logo. Now, there is no communication from the visitor to the origin server. So not only does that improve efficiency and speed, but it also adds a huge layer of security. Now, I have a better way of explaining it with this really bad paint I made here. So this is you, right? This is ultimately the same picture as this, with a more, I guess, easy to understand layout. So this is you, and you're hungry. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, what do I want to eat? If you're like me, I like Googling like what I want to eat, and then a restaurant in the area will appear. So there I am looking on Google for something to eat. Applebee's is what I get. Then I go to the restaurant and I tell the waiter what I want to eat. The waiter will go into the kitchen to get the food that I requested, and then we'll bring it back. The food will be given to the waiter, and then the food will be delivered to me. At no point am I getting the food from the kitchen myself. So if we had to relate it back to this picture, you can kind of see what's going on here. I am requesting food, just as like I'm requesting a picture. This will tell me where I want to go. So it's going to the DNS is going to tell the visitor where they want to go. The host or the waiter is the CDN network, just as this is the CDN network, and it's getting what you requested from the origin server, and it's getting it from the origin server as well. But in this case, it's the kitchen. And then that is being brung over to you by the delivery network or the waiter. So you kind of understand what's going on there. So in AWS, this is CloudFront, and this is the same kind of thing we just saw simplified. The example I'm showing you today is going to involve using S3. Pretend, in my instance, I'm going to have a static website in my Amazon S3 bucket. And I don't want anyone, this is going to be public to the internet, I don't want anyone being able to go into my bucket because there might be some stuff in there that I don't want to share. The whole point of CloudFront is to act as a distribution CDN, and it should go into S3 for me, and then I just have to go to CloudFront to get what I wanted from S3. At no point should I be going into the S3 bucket. At no point should I need to go into the S3 bucket. It should all be delivered to me by CloudFront. So, like I said, I'm statically hosting a website in S3 out of my test bucket. As you can see, I have two things in here. I have credit card numbers, and I have my index.html. I want CloudFront to distribute that indexed HTML. I want to be able to go to my static website without having people actually have to go into my bucket. So in CloudFront, you can go ahead and click create a distribution. Where we're using a web delivery method. We want them to be accessing a URL. So let's get started with the web. And the domain name, the origin domain name, this is where we're going to put the name of our bucket. And I would pick test bucket. And so you could scroll all the way down to the root object. So this is what should be displayed as soon as they access this CloudFront edge. That's where you can specify, index.html, which is, the main link that I want them to click on. I already have it set up. It's right here. All they have to do is take the new domain name. So the old domain name was, where is it? This is the old domain name, testbucket.s3amazon.aws.com, index.html. I don't want them going into my bucket. They're going into my bucket. You can see it. Instead, you could see the origin, the kitchen, I will say, is the bucket. This is the server. This is the waiter right here. The public will be accessing this CNAME instead. So they can put this into their browsers, and it will take them to my website. Now, there is no way I can retrace this back to my bucket. However, if I was, again, running it out of my bucket, this is the website for my bucket. This is the website from my edge location. I can easily, if I wanted to, I could easily play around with this. I could do that. I could see that. Sure, I have access denied right now because that's how I have it set up. But if this was public, I could see everything in my bucket. People could start tampering with stuff. People can even access my credit card numbers. So this is unsecure. The fact that I can do an old school directory walking through my S3 bucket's static URL. But again, through CloudFront, there's no way I can move around. I can't do any lateral movement. It's all just through this static CNAME URL. So again, if I were to just pull that picture back up of the S3 bucket, again, I'm hosting that website that says hello. In my bucket, CloudFront will distribute that to edges. I will connect to one of those edges in the distribution list and access that because S3 is serving that to CloudFront. And at no means do I have to go into the kitchen to get the file that I requested. So CloudFront is a very quick thing to set up. It is extremely well used for efficiency, availability. But one of the things that we focus on as a club is security, and this is a huge way to deliver files to your companies, to your employees, to your customers in the most secure way possible. Thank you, guys.